After months of hope but little detail, the past 10 days have brought news of great progress in the race to find a vaccine that's safe and works. And we now know a lot more about how it'll be rolled out here, with plans for how 1 million people will be vaccinated. The Health Secretary, Jeane Freeman, says from early next month, frontline health workers and all those aged over 80 will be vaccinated in the first 3-month stage of the programme. Doctors, dentists and optometrists will all be involved in giving people injections.
The vaccination programme offers the main way out of the pandemic, but so does mass testing and improvements to the tracing of positive cases. St Andrews and... We're looking forward to that. And you can follow all the 9 stories on social media. The details should be right in front of us just now. We are at BBC Scot 9 on Instagram and Twitter.
Now, this time tomorrow, more than 2 million of us will be living back in level 4 restrictions. That's not going to be as strict as the Scotland-wide lockdown back in the spring. Schools and factories will remain open.
But all non-essential shops will have to close, so will cafes and restaurants, gyms and hairdressers. For the people who run these businesses and indeed for the workers they employ, it's been another uncertain week, possibly the first of many in the run-up to Christmas. The Nine's Hope Webb spent the day in the West Lothian town of Linlithgow.
Now, a draft report into the conduct of the UK Home Secretaries concluded Priti Patel did break the rules on ministers' behaviour, according to sources familiar with its contents. The draft was completed in the summer, but not made public. The inquiry into her conduct began after the most senior official at the Home Office, Sir Philip Rutnam, resigned in February. He alleged staff felt she created fear in the department, and he's suing the Home Office for unfair dismissal. Well, let's speak now to the Nine's Westminster correspondent Rajdeep Sandhu. And Rajdeep, what is the Prime Minister likely to do about this?
Well, Rebecca,
all of this.
The BBC's royal correspondent Johnny Diamond speaking to me a little earlier. Now, with the ability to get to the shops being curtailed for many, a voucher as a Christmas present might seem like a good idea. But the unpredictable nature of the virus means you might not get a chance to spend it.
The business may go bust, or restrictions might force you to cancel your plans. So where does that leave you, the customer? Here with answers is the Nine's Consumer Affairs correspondent, Nick Sheridan.
all the way from Las Vegas. It's a very international programme tonight.
It really is, yeah.
I know he's disappointed not to be out in Las Vegas, but otherwise he wouldn't have got to speak to us, would he?
Well, exactly.
You know,
He's
Make
very
your
lucky
own
in that
entertainment,
case.
don't you?
Exactly.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
Now, many of us have sought extra support over the past few months, but for young people, particularly those who are faced with losing a parent, it's been really tough. We've been speaking to teenager Gabrielle Livingston, who says she felt isolated and scared when she found out her dad had incurable cancer and struggled to find people who could understand what she was going through.
As her dad's condition and her own mental health deteriorated during lockdown, Gabrielle decided to tell her story on Instagram. And she says she's been overwhelmed by the messages she's received from around the world since then. Here's the Nine's Fiona Stocker with Gabrielle's story.
And explode.
That was Gabrielle Livingston finishing Fiona Stocker's report there. Now, the 2020 Booker Prize for Fiction has the most diverse shortlist in the award's 51-year history, featuring 4 debut novels and 4 books by writers of colour. The winner was announced tonight at a socially distanced online ceremony from London's Roundhouse.
There was also just one British-born author on the shortlist, Glasgow-born Douglas Stewart, for his debut novel Shuggie Bain, a darkly funny account of a young boy growing up in Glasgow in the 1980s. And you said that this is a story deeply personal to you. You thanked your mum in your speech. Given that this is so close to your heart, how much more did that make this prize? I mean,
do you think that she would have been stunned too? I mean, what would she have made of all of this?
Oh,
Yourself, you were up against some really incredible competition. Do they tell you kind of why you won? Do you get a bit of feedback? And how do you feel given that you were up?
Good.
One of last year's winners, and I hope I'm going to get her name right here, Bernadine Evaristo, I think. She spoke at the ceremony tonight and she said that your life is about to change immeasurably. I mean, have you kind of started even thinking about popping that champagne because you knew you were going to speak to us, Douglas?
They absolutely will be. And, you know, you've got another book coming out soon too. Can you tell us a bit about that? How different is it from Shuggie Bain?
The last time we spoke to you on the 9, you said that you celebrated being on the long list for the Booker by popping open a bottle of champagne from the Millennium. Oh, that was great, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Really good for him. Well, just before the weather, a wee bit of hope. The story of a mum whose twins were delivered while she was in a coma with coronavirus. Initially, she struggled to believe they were hers when she awoke 2 weeks later.
Ill, wind, possibly a little bit of snow again, or maybe not?
Probably not.
OK, so if you were playing weather bingo, no snow, but just about everything else. Thank you very much, Christopher. OK, and that is all from Rebecca and me for tonight. Laura Miller's here tomorrow at the new regular time of 7 p.m. with all your news.